Hey guys, what is going on? Jack from Minifigs. Today we're going to take a look at 10 LEGO Star Wars minifigures that you can buy under $5. Yes, that's right, 10 minifigures that you can grab yourself for under $5 on Bricklink. So let's get into it. And just before we get into the video guys, I thought I'd better lay down the ground rules. So every minifigure you see on this list is actually in used condition, they're not new condition, and they're all found on Bricklink, and none of them are going to be in damaged condition as well. So every minifigure you see on this list you'll be able to get on Bricklink for under $5 in used condition. So let's get into it. So starting us off, in at 10th place we have the Gungan Warrior, which you can pick up for only $2. Yes, that's right, only $2 for this minifigure. And although it's a really common minifigure, it came in a LEGO set that wasn't exactly that expensive, although it did come out a fair few years ago, so I am surprised that it's not, jumped a bit more in value. $2 is like, it's the cheapest you can get it. And it's not actually a bad minifigure, For only $2, you really can't go wrong with this Gungan minifigure. The head mould is actually pretty decent, the printing on the torso is not too bad. So yeah, for only $2, I'd definitely recommend picking this one up. In at 9th place now we have the Han Solo minifigure, and this is the one that actually comes with the celebration medal that's around his neck, just after the Battle of Yavin. And you can pick up this minifigure for only $2.50, so it's really cheap. I do believe he's this cheap because I think he came in one of the kind of LEGO Star Wars encyclopedia books, so that's why he's so cheap. But still, $2.50 you can pick up this Han Solo minifigure. I mean, it's not exactly the best minifigure, but again, for $2.50 you can't complain. Moving on to 8th place now, we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi minifigure, and this is actually the one that features in the Obi-Wan Kenobi Starfighter set. So this is based off the version from episode 2, where he's a Jedi Knight, not a Jedi Master, but it's a really decent minifigure yet again. And you can pick up this minifigure for only $4, so to get such a big character from Star Wars for only $4, it's really good. And also, moving on to 7th place now, we have the Darth Maul minifigure, which featured in the Duel on Mandalore set. Now I really am a big fan of this Darth Maul. I think he looks absolutely sick, to be quite honest. I love the kind of little bits of silver that he's got on his legs. It's kind of like the armour that the Mandalorians gave to him, I do believe. So yeah, for only $4.50 to be able to grab this Darth Maul minifigure, which has got fantastic printing on the torso and legs, it's a brilliant deal, and I definitely recommend checking Bricklink out. Moving on to 6th place now, we have the Ugnaught minifigure, which was released with the Carbonite Freezing Chamber set. And again, it's a really cheap minifigure. You can grab this for only $3 on Bricklink, and it's pretty decent, The head mould is really good. The torso printing, yeah, it's pretty basic, but for such a... In at 6th place we have the Ugnaught minifigure, which was released with the Carbonite Freezing Chamber set, which was quite a relatively cheap set, but it was a really good set that featured some good minifigures, and this is definitely one of them. And you can grab this minifigure for only $3. I mean, the minifigure is a little bit basic, but the head mould is actually quite unique, so that definitely puts it to a level where $3 is a very good deal. Moving on to 5th place now, we have the Chewbacca minifigure, which is the snowy version of the minifigure, which featured in the AT-ST set, which I do believe is still available. Now, I'm not a big fan of that LEGO set, I don't think it looks very good, but that Chewbacca minifigure looks actually really good. And you can grab him for only like $4.50, I do believe, $4. So a really good deal. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I usually don't like the Chewbacca minifigures. They're just so basic. But this one, because he's got the snowy print on his fur, it actually is quite unique. And I doubt they'll ever make another Chewbacca and snow minifigure again. So probably worth picking up for only $4. Moving on to 4th place now, we have the Dark Trooper. Now this is one of my favourite minifigures on this list. It's a really awesome minifigure that comes from a great episode of The Mandalorian, and for only $4 you can pick it up on Bricklink. And one reason I ranked it so high up on the list is because, for only $4 this is actually a minifigure that you can army build. And if you get a decent army of Dark Troopers, that would look absolutely phenomenal. I just love the actual look and design of the minifigure itself. Kind of reminds me of something from like Battlestar Galactica, is it the Xylons? They've certainly got a really kind of like adult feel to them. I don't know if you agree with that, but when you saw them first in The Mandalorian, they're quite imposing and terrifying. And I think they actually got that to translate really well onto the minifigure version, because I think the minifigure looks absolutely brilliant. The helmet piece is awesome, but in particular it's that chest piece which kind of makes it look really bulky and intimidating. and it's just a top-notch minifigure that is so cheap. Moving on to third place now, we have the Boba Fett minifigure, and this is actually the old version of the minifigure. When I say old, I mean the old Boba Fett, in terms of he was older in The Mandalorian Season 2 when he was kind of reintroduced into the Star Wars universe. But yeah, so it's the new kind of armour, the new look to the Boba Fett minifigure, and I actually quite like it. I'm one of the fans. I know a lot of LEGO Star Wars fans weren't a fan of that armour or the printing on the armour, because I mean, I do agree, obviously it's hard to disagree, you know, the printing on the helmet is a different colour to the printing on the armoured breastplate, so that's certainly not good, I will say that. But other than that, the printing on the torso, the legs, and, you know, unlike a lot of other minifigures on this list, it's got arm printing, which gives it, you know, gives it a bit of a special feel to it, so yeah, great minifigure to grab for only $4. Moving on to second place now, we have the Mandalorian, aka Din Djarin, in his silver Beskar armour. And you can pick up this minifigure for only $2. So this is one of the cheapest minifigures on the list. But don't be fooled by that price, because the minifigure in itself is absolutely fantastic. I love the printing on the torso and the legs, but what really makes it stand out is that it's got additional printing on the arms, and you've even got a grey cape piece just to give it that extra bit of detail. Don't get me wrong, this minifigure is insanely common, that's why it's so cheap, because it's featured in a fair few LEGO sets, most of which are quite cheap. But even still, $2 for this minifigure, if you've not already got it, this is a must-have. So moving on to first place now, and my favourite minifigure to buy for under $5 is the Mace Windu minifigure from the Republic Fighter Tank set. And you can grab this minifigure for only $3. Which is an absolute steal. You know, the minifigure is really top notch. Probably one of the best LEGO Mace Windu minifigures that has been released. There might be one or two more. I mean, the light up version is always going to be my favourite. But in terms of some of the kind of Clone Wars era version of Mace Windu, this one's at the top of the list. Mainly because of the arm printing, you know, that arm printing definitely puts it to another level. And it's just a fantastic minifigure, so that is definitely my favourite minifigure that you can buy for under $5. So anyway guys, there you have it, there's my 10 LEGO Star Wars minifigures that you can buy under $5. All of which, they're an absolute bargain, you know, any one of them 10 minifigures, they're definitely worth picking up if you're a LEGO Star Wars collector. So yeah, I highly recommend, you know, taking a look at this list and seeing what minifigures maybe you don't have in your collection. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video, I really appreciate it, and if you could do me one last favour, if you could hit that like and subscribe button, you'd be really helping the channel out. So anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.